Manchester City will host PSG as they go head-to-head for that top spot in Group A. Just 1 point between them as it stands, and no Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester City. Just a massive loss for them, Jimmy. How do you see this game unfolding at the Etihad?
Great question, Poppy. A massive loss. They didn't have them this weekend against Everton. They won 3-0, comfortably beat. And Everton, fair, were depleted, so you have to take that into consideration. But they were very good going forward. Bernardo Silva has now scored 3 goals in his last 5. He's been fantastic. Raheem Sterling hit the back of the net. So they got some guys that maybe were on the fringes. I guess I'm looking more at Raheem Sterling doing the business, taking their opportunities. And I don't think that's a good sign for PSG. Now, this PSG side, conversely, beaten on over the weekend. Messi scored, which is a big deal, getting a little confidence heading into this game in particular. And what I really like about this PSG team, a little fun fact, is that they have scored, I think, 10 goals after the 80th minute in the French league. And I think that really speaks to once teams get tired, once they start to lose some of their defensive shape, you can really get after them. And when you have Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi who should all start, I think that could be a big difference. He scored in the 74th minute, and this other time they played against each other earlier in the group stages. So that's when gets maybe a little frustration from City when things weren't going their way, and then all of a sudden Messi comes and unlocks it and says game over. So I think it's going to be a real tough test for them to keep that discipline, and I'm talking about City here. That said, at home, I think they have enough to do the business, and I'm curious to see who he rolls out. I think Ruben Diaz will come back into the team, obviously very stout defensively. And with regard to PSG, Verratti comes into the team. That makes such a difference. He's such a glue in the midfield to help the team transition and get the ball into higher spots for Neymar and Mbappe and Messi. And then they have Juan Bernat, who's actually slid in at left back. I think he gives them a little bit more balance and kind of does the same thing that Hakimi does on the other side. So I think Bernat might actually be the most important player in all this in terms of keeping that balance. That said, I don't want to say a draw because I always say a draw, but I'm feeling like a draw, everybody.
Jimmy, you like the draw in this kind of
do.
game? I don't think so. I don't think so it's going to happen. Listen, guys, to be honest, for me, it's about what is happening, the battle in the middle. Yeah, of course, up front, they got fantastic players, the Messi, Neymar, they got Foden, so many good players up front. But at the end, how do you bring the ball at the front? How you manage to get, to receive, to regain the ball when you don't have it? So I think the battle in the middle is going to be key in this game. And we've seen Pochettino changing so much in the middle. Who is going to play Verratti, Gueye, Herrera, so many different players, Wijnaldum, that they can fit. And he's been changing. He doesn't have those 3 players who can make the battle. So I'm curious to see who are the ones who want to give, because at the weekend, they concede so much. It's a team that, yeah, we all know that they got so many good players up front that they can be very dangerous. I think they got only 3 shots on target in the games against Manchester City in the previous game, and they scored twice. So at the end, the most important is who is the one who can balance it. You say Bernat, but they break out themselves very quickly. They open the game very quickly, and Manchester City knows how to make quick transition. It's not anymore that team who can keep the ball from one side to the other side. Then the moment that you give them a little bit of a space, a long ball, it's a quick pass in between the lines with Rodri, with Gundogan, players who can have that fantastic side. So very careful with this Paris Saint-Germain side, because if you open a little bit, this Manchester City is going to kill you, and then it's going to be a lot of trouble if you want to go through again.
Yeah, listen, there's so many stories behind this game, what's happening with Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously, Pochettino is rumoured about where he's gone, what's happening with his future. Now there's an opportunity at Manchester United. Messi against Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola trying to make up for the defeat that they received in Paris. And I think he was a little bit upset about that defeat in Paris. And there's now a point to prove that Pep can get the job done, even though you may be competing against one of the best individually put squads that have been put together. I think now is his opportunity to show how good Manchester City are as a team. I think we can all safely agree that City have been nowhere near where they need to be, or nowhere near as good as they were last season on their way to the final. But there's plenty of time for Manchester City to get it right. And in this competition, I start to see them getting it right now. They're missing some big players. Obviously, Poppy mentioned De Bruyne is not there. It's a big upset. We don't know what's happening with Jack Grealish, if he's going to even make this game. We don't know who's going to play up top for Manchester City. So there's a lot of question marks about who's going to play for City, how they get the job done. But Pep Guardiola needs to show us that he is the genius. Pep Guardiola, this is his moment to shine on a big stage in a big game against Paris Saint-Germain, who already beat them this season. I just don't see Manchester City losing this game. But how they get the job done, who knows?